What is up, guys? It's KOJOFOREX, aka GBP Emperor, aka Emperor of Blues. In today's topic, I'm going to teach you guys how to master market timing. In fact, that's really one of the most less talked about topics when you search on YouTube Forex trading, right? So why is it that not a lot of people are really talking about market timing? Perhaps not a lot of people really understand it or prioritize what it means to understand market timing. So in today's lesson, I'm going to run you through a particular trade that I took with the community members. It's actually Usoil, right? So on TradingView, you have it as Usoil. Some people have it as WTI. It all stands to be the same. And then in this trade, I perfected market timing to catch this trade, particularly currently running about 500 pips, and then shared it to the community members. So if you want to be a part of the community members and take advantage of trade setups like this, then you want to click in the link in the description to join my Telegram community, and then you can take this kind of trade setups with us. Now, when we want to talk about market timing, then you want to think about time zones, right? So if you may have noticed, then when it comes to my community or even generally my trading style, I usually like to take my trade mostly in the London session. Now, I may have been so blessed to find myself have the same time zone as the London market, which happens to be one of the prime sessions globally when it comes to the world's financial market. So London stands as the world's leading financial market. There we have the New York, and then we have the Japanese market, which is also predominantly the Asian market, right? So what do I mean by that? All I basically mean is that because we share the same time zone, in fact, perfect time zone, then when it is exactly 7 o'clock in Ghana, then you find it being 7 o'clock in London as well. And then when it's exactly like, let's say 10, 12, whatever time it is in London, we basically have the same time in Ghana as well. So all it means is that then I don't get to lose sleep during the Asian session, which we all know that is predominantly characterized by low volatility. Then I can be able to still wake up early in the morning and then trade the very high volatility market, which is the London market, all through to the New York market. So perhaps if you see that as an advantage, then you may be interested in then moving to Ghana to be a trader as well. Now let's think about this. One of the ways that you can be able to particularly monitor timing in the market is using the TradingView, right? So if you watch here, currently we clearly have 10 minutes before this current market closes, right? Or in terms of the candlestick that is currently being run. So you may have also been aware that if you've been watching my analysis for so many times now, I am so conversant and then very comfortable with the 4-hour time frame, which means that for the most part, you have me really assessing the market and coming into the market to analyze after every 4-hour closure. So all that it means is that because we currently have about 10 minutes for the very current trading 4-hour candle to close, then in the next 10 minutes, this particular candle right here, which represents the oil, is going to close for a new one to be opened, right? And then those new one is definitely going to have a particular direction it wants to take. So because we also master the art of understanding candlestick patterns, which happens to be the language of the market, then it's very essential that we also take particularly our timing into the market at its very core, so that whenever there is a time closure in the market, we can then come into the market and then assess to see if this trade is particularly a viable one for us to be able to bank our trade on, or perhaps leave it and then come in later, right? Now, with all that I've said, then let's practically run it down to the very bare minimum so that we can be able to know so as to efficiently trade the market and not just find ourselves sitting by the screens 24/7 just waiting for the next closure, next confirmation, next this and that, right? So like I've explained from the beginning, because we share the same time zone with London, and then you can be able to take advantage of TradingView to exactly know the timing of the closure of the market, right? Now we know that what time is it now in Ghana? It's just about 4:50, which clearly means that in the next 10 minutes, the next candle is going to close, which is then going to be what? 5 o'clock. So because we know that 5 o'clock p.m., right, as it stands now, getting to 5 o'clock p.m., this particular candle right here is going to close for a new one to open, right? Now, when the new one opens, how long is it going to trade before it also closes? Currently, we're still on the 4-hour time frame, so it's also definitely going to take 4 hours. Now, from 4 hours from 5, then it's basically 9 p.m. as well. Then in 9 p.m., we may also come into the market, scan through all our currency pair and our setups to see if we have something to bank on. But that is what I'm particularly talking about, that is going to be running in the Asian session, which we all know that is characterized with low volatility and high spread. So I get to have my good night's sleep waiting for the market running over through till the London session. So through 9, 4 hours from 9, then what do we have? Basically 1 a.m. as well, right? Which is still predominantly the Asian session. Then from 1 a.m., 4 hours from there, what do we have? We also have come back to what? 5 a.m. right? Then 5 a.m. we just have the Asian session wrapping up, coming to meet the London session, and then volatility also setting again, right? So it means that every setup that I have, be it me looking at the market coming to a key support area, be it looking at the market coming to a key resistance, trend line, whatever it is, while I'm particularly also waiting for a candlestick closure and confirmation, then I have to be awake around these prime times. In fact, sometimes 10 minutes before the main closure, to be able to then have a concise and clear idea of the confirmation that is likely to occur, and then execute and instantly take those trades based on my confirmation. Then from 5, what time is it? 4 hours from there is going to also be 9 a.m. Then from 9 a.m. we come back to what? 1 p.m. Then from 1 p.m. we are back to what? 5 p.m. So watching this basically takes us 24 hours around the clock, right? So 24 hours around the clock, giving us a full day activity of the market. Now, with what I just said in the beginning, I said because you do not want to particularly just be sitting by your chart watching the market 24/7, waiting and anticipating for trading closures or confirmation, then you can efficiently use market timing at your disposal, in the sense that because you know that maybe at 5 this candle is going to close, maybe at 6 this is going to close, at 9 this is going to happen, you want to just mark it out and then fix that in your schedules, knowing that when it is 5 and even I'm asleep, I have to wake up and come and check what is happening on the market. Perhaps I may be able to take some trade. Now this also allows you not to miss trade setup. Just imagine that I didn't have this system in place and I just had to guess work and know randomly meeting that okay, this market is going to close here, and then how am I going to be able to draw all the way to the bare minimum exactly what time the market is going to close, and then what kind of confirmation I may be wanting to use to my advantage to take a trade setup, right? So like I'm saying, imagine that this trade right here that I took clearly was taken around 9 a.m. today, and then the same trade which was shared in the community, people currently run over 500 pips, right? Now with this trade, imagine that I didn't particularly have accuracy in market timing, and then I happen to have come to watch the market around 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. What it only means is that I would have come to meet the market trading around this area here, and now coming to meet the market trading around the area only means that I literally missed out on 170 pips, which I could have used at my disposal if I understood market timing. Just like I said, nobody really understands it. That's why we don't have a lot of people talking about it. So you don't want to miss any market movement. So you want to particularly be so keen with your timing in the market, knowing that because I don't want even a pip of an inch to move away from me from my confirmation, then you want to take the timing as serious as possible. So if you have followed through all I've been saying, then you can understand the whole game plan in which I use to my very advantage, right? Now you guys are very fortunate. In the next 3 minutes, the market is actually going to close. So I'm going to run you through a typical routine of how I use market timing at my disposal and be able to catch trade setups, right? So currently, like I said, we've already taken that trade entry on oil, and then we're running about 500 pips, which I said if you want to take advantage of, then you want to click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community. Also making sure to smash the like button for this video, and then subscribing if you haven't done that already, and then follow me on all social media at KOJOFOREX, especially on Instagram, so you don't miss my Instagram live sessions, because on Instagram live sessions I teach this kind of concept for free as well, right? So because we have barely about 3 minutes, all I start doing is that if I have any setup on my radar, then I start quickly scanning through, right? Because I know that in the next 3 minutes we're going to have the market closing. So I want to watch, okay, do we have any confirmation that's going to inspire me or then trigger me to take a trade entry? We're looking at currently GBP JPY. There's nothing on it, right? It doesn't look as if we have any kind of confirmation coming in. So what do I do then? I quickly skip on it. Then we come to a trade setup like GBP card as well, the same thing. So for the most part of this week, we've not really had any trade setup brewing in our favor, except for the oil trade that we took. But just for the practical aspect of what we are looking at, then I just want us to scan through and then meet that closure, which is going to trigger my alarm anyway. So once you create, that is going to also allow you to keep track of your market timing, is setting a personal alarm on your mobile phone as well, right? So on my personal alarm, I have my alarm ringing at 9 a.m., The same time is going to ring at 1 p.m. all through to 5 p.m. then 9 p.m. back to 1 a.m. So around all these times I wake up, and then sometimes I do wake up around these times, especially during the midnight around 1 a.m. when I'm just coming to quickly scan through my confirmations. Then sometimes I get on Instagram live and inspire people and talk to them and teach them about the market. But less do they know that during those times that I'm even awake, I'm actually monitoring my confirmation of the market to see if the Asian session has pretty much given me something sweet and sumptuous to bank on. So we currently have about 1 minute and 40 seconds for this market to close, and then all I'm going to do is keep scrolling down and then monitoring the whole setups to see if we've had something that has just gone in our favor, right? Or perhaps any kind of confirmation that allows us to change our mind, whether we want to take a trade setup or whether we want to scalp or whether we want to day trade, right? So yeah, wasting a little bit of time scanning through the whole chart, it only does help me to prepare my mind as well to know if indeed this trade I'm going to take. Now, if I have seen a trade setup that is in my favor and then I want to take, this is also the time where you're going to now employ risk management, right? So within those few minutes where you're waiting for the closure, then you want to ask yourself that, what is my account balance? You're going to realize that, okay, maybe my account balance is $10,000. What is the percentage that I want to expose to the market? Maybe I want to expose 2%, 3%. Now you want to ask yourself deeply also as well that, what is 2% of my account in terms of lot size, right? So just by preparation within those few minutes to seconds where the market is about to close, you'd have then had a very solid idea of what your risk exposure should be, so that now when you're taking those trades, you're not going to be found wanting or caught at a surprise just placing a random lot size which is going to perhaps go in your favor and then make you happy at the end of the day, or sometimes go against you and have you fumbling, right? So we basically have the next 9 seconds for the market to close, and then we'll have a new candle appearing, right? So just like I said, we're using the oil setup, so let's just write. So like you can hear, we clearly have my alarm ringing, and then this alarm basically coincided exactly with the closure, and then we currently have a new opening on the market. So because we are already in this trade, then we have no decision to take. Nonetheless, this was the same scenario where we had this market closing exactly here, and then we're able to bank in on this. So explaining this trade setup, which some few people have asked me to do, we're already in a downtrend, right? Looking at this, we have this lower low, lower high structure, and then eventually this swing point basically breaking structure and coming back to visit this resistance area right here. And then if you previously watched my candlestick confirmations, you might have realized that I pointed out tweezer, right? And then this particularly talks about tweezer top. But looking at this tweezer top, it happened on Monday, which also was an Easter holiday. So thereon, I also knew that characteristically the market was going to be very dull, volume is going to be low, so we're not going to have any trade positions on there. So then I decided to extend my trading activity through till Tuesday, which is today. And then by Tuesday, I started monitoring the market using the timing that I've talked about. So I started watching the market from 1 a.m., 5 a.m. Nothing particular was happening based on the fact that we're having this kind of bullish candles pushing onto the opposite direction of the market. Then at 9 a.m., we had this bearish candle coming in, confirming my whole trading setup around this area of resistance. Also in the lower time frame, kind of forming a miniature of a head and shoulder pattern, and then taking this trade setup and currently running at 500 pips. So you can clearly see that by employing market timing, it makes my work extremely easier. I don't have to sweat and sit by the screen for thousands of hours waiting for a confirmation. I can just come in within a few minutes and then find my entry confirmation, take those trade setup, and then I'm done out of the market. So if you enjoy this content, then you know what to do. Make sure to click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community. Make sure to also smash the like button to promote this video, and then subscribe to this channel because we're currently heading to the 100K mark. So without wasting my time, I hope you guys really did enjoy this content. If you did, smash the like button like I've already said, and it's going to motivate me to shoot a lot more content along this area for you guys. So peace out.